So here we go. So
how many sausages love that movie? See, you know, this is all pro sausage. I don't think there's a negative sausage in the audience.
no, it's a governor sausage too.
Yeah,
'cause
multi-governors.
Two governors of this movie. What is this?
Dueling U.S. governor sausage.
I don't want to eat any of it.
By the way, the original name of this movie was called Hunter. I don't know if you noticed that in the film. They kind of made a cue of Hunter. He must be a hunter. And when they were making the movie, all the boys in the film would work themselves out. And Arnold got them all kind of in a big tizzy to work themselves out together before they went to set.
You just know that he would be like, "Come on, everybody!" What was he like on set? Like, can you talk?
I didn't go to set actually.
Okay.
I was in the lab, but he actually got married in the middle of this movie.
Oh,
to,
right, in the later
yeah.
Hosen. That's right. Okay.
I don't know about the later Hosen.
So when you look at the film and see it again, like what sort of things do you think about
Pure
it?
brilliance, right? Pure brilliance. That is 100% Americana motherfucking sausage brilliance. Directed by a man who just recently got out of prison.
Oh, really?
John McTiernan, actually. Anybody know what he was in prison for? What? Sausage? Too much sausage on his pizza, apparently, was John McTiernan. And hey, I think we're coming in with Steve. I can see Steve over here in the small screen.
It's happening.
I see Steve looking very Steve-like. Hello, Steve.
But can he? So Steve is in. I'm assuming. Oh, there we go.
Oh, hey, there we go. Hey.
Okay, so we're waiting for
Steve
sound.
in the house.
Okay, hey, so
Steve!
this is Steve Johnson, ladies and gentlemen. Hey, Steve, I see you quit smoking.
Yeah, I have.
Fantastic, congratulations.
Hey, you guys, Todd, shut up for a second. It's my birthday here in Los Angeles. It's Memorial Day. Give me a break.
Merry Christmas, by the way. Happy holidays.
And where are
Yes,
you?
happy holidays.
Where are you right now? Where are you talking to us from?
I'm in Los Angeles, and I'm trying to keep the other Memorial Day celebrating people to keep their yap shut because I've got 1 million people here. We had a pool party. It's unfortunate. Let's talk about Predator.
Let's do it. So let's get it started. I mean, so many people here obviously have seen the film 1 million times. It's probably the first time that many of them have seen it on the big screen. When you think about the film, which is about to celebrate 30 years of predating greatness, what things come to your mind from the experience and from the film?
Okay, that's just a really loaded question. And you know that. Okay, listen, the fact is, hang on, hey, guys, Chad, can you turn the music's getting really loud and the dog's barking. Chad, come on. Hang on, honestly.
Hey, so while Steve's doing that, I'm going to tell you that we've got copies of his book, Rubberhead. Oh, I'll shut up for a second. But copies of his book, Rubberhead, for people that ask questions.
Todd's shilling for you right now.
I'm killing time.
Okay, I'm back. We turn the music on. What? Okay, listen, there was a gentleman by the name of Nikita Natz who designed the original Predator way back in the early 80s, whenever that was. You know, and it was kind of shoved down our throats at the Boston Corporation, kind of like a foie gras duck's suck. Didn't want to eat it. We could digest it. If we kept thinking, we please change it. We make it doable. And you know, the director, Mr. John McTiernan, really wanted to do something that had never been seen before, which was a huge alien that did not look anything like Godzilla. It had an extended head, it had extended arms, it had extended legs, back, like these things were impossible in these days. They really were. And I tried to tell them, and the only answer I got from Mr. McTiernan was, I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. You're the expert. We hired you. You make it work. And I'm like, oh my God. You're the people that are going to be spending $15 billion a day in the jungle of Puerto Rico. Puerto Vallarta, trying to film this thing. You know, the only way we could figure out how to make it work was to set up an overhead pantry, which is a huge crane over here, huge crane over there. And you basically fly the guy like Superman, but it did clearly not work. And Todd, if you told him this story, Todd, help me out here. It didn't work.
Well,
All right, well,
yeah, it was hard enough to shoot anything in the jungle. For any filmmakers in the audience, just shooting anything is challenging. And when you go to a jungle in an area that's loaded with margaritas, it's really difficult to make a movie. Am I wrong? And not to mention...
no, but listen,
well,
Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Well, there we go.
Jean-Claude initially played the part of the Predator. And the funny thing about it, the absurdity of it, is that he didn't realize that he was going to be wearing a monster suit. He thought he was coming over from Belgium to kick it. He wanted to show the world how elite he was with his martial arts. And we're like, Jean-Claude, don't you understand that you're actually wearing this huge monster suit? You can't see, you can't stand, you can't even take a piss. And he's like, I look like a superhero. Yeah, it was a disaster.
I am world famous kickboxer. He was actually in the suit for what, a day, and then it became a stunt guy, I think.
Well,
yeah, it was. Yeah. Okay. Is somebody moderating here? Sorry.
Yes. We have a little bit of time for a few questions. Does anybody have a question from the audience? You got to raise your hand and gesticulate wildly.
And maybe put a light on yourself.
Yes. What's your question? At the back.
How was it working with Kevin Peter Hall, the Predator, the actor?
How was it working with Kevin Peter Hall, the actor?
How was that, Steve?
Well, you know what? Actually, Kevin didn't wear the suit, as I just mentioned. If you got the chopsticks out of your ears, it was Jean-Claude Van Damme.
So
We never worked with Kevin Peter Hall. Kevin went. The funny thing about that story, and I want you all to open your ears here, is that we made this suit that John McTiernan demanded he would never have a guy in a Godzilla costume. Never have a guy in a Godzilla costume. And so you had these ridiculous painter stills, the absurd head extension, all of the stuff. But, when push came to shove, we did, in effect, we got fired. It's really that simple.
And so then the second suit came on with Kevin, and that was the Stan Winston suit. About 8 months later or something, they picked up shooting again.
Yeah, well, they trucked all of our stuff over to Fox and said, see if you can make sense of this garbage. And they actually turned it into what Kevin wore. And what ultimately became, excuse me, hello, the Pumpkinhead suit. Our Predator was Pumpkinhead suit.
That's true. And actually, a lot of the makeup effects that we did in #1 end up in Predator 2, including, like I said before, Shane's body. Shane's body's all over Predator 2.
Other questions from the audience? Yes, at the back. Any cool deleted scenes that didn't make the final cut?
The whole movie was deleted. There's actually, go ahead, Steve.
Todd said, I'll do it.
Yeah.
But what do we know? I mean, didn't they just make like 100 sequels and reboots? So what do we know?
It's all in those multiple movies, exactly. So the first unit went down, shot Puerto Vallarta for several months, wrapped, went back, reassembled, and then went back and just finished certain things. And you'll notice in the camo vision, and remember, this is a pre-CG movie. There's no CG in any of this. It's all optical effects. It's all practical effects. But when you see the camo, that multi-blurry thing, a lot of that's the original red suit that Steve and I made at Boss Films. You can kind of tell, for you savvy watchers, you'll notice that the actual outline of the suit is actually quite different.
Do you guys have any relics from the film? Like, did you keep any of the costumes or
scars?
Or any of the stuff that
I have a couple scars.
Besides the emotional trauma.
Emotional scars, yes. We still bear the emotional scars.
Other questions from the audience? Anyone? Yes, in the front.
So the movie's like probably one of the butchest like sci-fi action movies out there. Was it when you're pairing Carl Weathers and Jesse Ventura and Arnold Schwarzenegger? Was it kind of intentional? The second design had that kind of gynecological look to the aliens.
Steve, what about that gynecological look you were going for in the second part? I don't know.
Well, Todd, we had just gotten off Poltergeist 2 with I'm talking about, with Giger. So what were we supposed to do? I mean, come on. It's done, yeah. I don't know a lot about them. What are you talking about? What's fun?
What did you rebuttal? What's gynecological about
Which part exactly?
Yeah.
Somebody says it.
You lost him now.
He's, uh-oh.
Oh boy.
Something's happening.
All right.
I'm frightened.
Any other gynecological questions
other
out
questions?
there? Oh, there's one right there, dude, yeah.
I heard a story that Jean-Claude had a bathroom accident in the original suit. Is that true?
Ooh.
Is that true that the question is that he heard that Jean-Claude had a bathroom accident in the suit? Can you refute or comment?
No, that never happened. That never. If it did, I think that was Todd's fault.
I actually shit in the suit, I'm sorry. I shit in the suit before I went to Mexico. And, it was well shat in.
Oh, are you guys drunk over there? No, nobody ever heard.
Who's drunk over here? Okay, I'm only seeing like 20% of the audience. Okay, who's stoned?
Yeah,
here?
everybody's stoned. It's Vancouver.
Okay, her right there. She's stoned. Yes, you.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Question from the front here. Yes.
Please.
Hey Steve, it's Shauna from Vancouver. Just wanting to know
Shauna, how are you? She's my breath, right?
That's.
Just wanting to know if you've got any Predator stories in your Rubberhead book that's out now.
She's shilling for
Oh
you.
my
Any stories in your
God.
Rubberhead book, which we have copies of here?
And you will
I
get
do.
one.
Now, what Shauna asked me specifically, the true story is told with Rubberhead Volume 5. So you have to buy every single volume to get the entire. Yeah, you gotta buy them all.
That's such a tease. You can't do that. That's terrible. So is number one just the purely kind of the purified version of your life? I mean, don't we want like the drama that just kind of builds?
No, you said that to me, Todd, but the fact is there's 4 more volumes and it gets really, really weird. But you also have to remember, this was my first outing. And you know what's so strange about writing this book? It was so easy to send it off to the Kickstarter backers, but once I go to London and I meet them and they said, I read your book, and they're looking at me like, so I'm like, what have I got? Oh my God, what have I done? Yeah, so I had to back down a bit.
So you're gonna tell all by 5 and then what, just hide?
Yeah! That's the movie! Woo!
Yes, that's it. Whoever you're screaming at, that's what we're planning, yes.
We probably have time for like one more question. So
Okay,
if
got a
anyone has
doozy
it.
out there, anybody?
What type of wine are you drinking?
The question is, what type of water? California Gold.
Yeah, it's slightly yellow water. It's actually dog urine. It's dog urine. Come on, it's Memorial Day here. Give me a break.
It's
What was your favorite part of doing this show?
Oh boy, surviving it, I think, because we had some crazy. The whole show was a deadline. I don't remember any day on this that we didn't spend into the evenings. And I was just like 18 or 19 years old. I just met this dude and his wild world. And I remember strippers at the studio once, and I remember trying to get
Right
work
now,
done.
we had a particularly bad deadline. My deal was to say, hey, we're never going to make the deadline. Let's just call strippers up. And it worked. It worked.
I remember being the only guy working at like 10 o'clock at night because stuff had to ship the next morning to Mexico. And there was people that I had never met at the studios, ladies without clothes on, all sorts of entourage. Here I am right off the turnip truck, and I'm like, this is Hollywood for me. There you go.
So that was the gynecological
That's what you're
connection, basically.
This is how movies get made, you know?
That's right. So yeah, there you go.
Thanks for the good times, by the way, Steve. That was fun.
We do need to wrap it up, and
Spoonhead! That's not Spoonhead, no.
See, I'm not, no, it's not spoon. I'm not that bad of a guy. If a cat loves me, I'm okay.
No. Steve used to have a great cat named Spoonhead, but I don't think ever could die. So that must be Spoonhead 12 or something.
Anyway, we do need to wrap it up. So Steve, thank you so much for joining us. Get back to.
Thanks, Steve. You rock.
I'm trying to get rid of it at this point. I understand why. Okay, I get it. It was wonderful. I wish I would have been there to watch this with you, because every time I watch one of these movies that we did way back then, I find that they actually still have a lot to say. They do still, on some level, hold was a fun. It was.
Well, next time, if you're ever in Vancouver, if you make it down, please come join us and we'll do it again and we'll have you here in person and we'll give you some BC magical juice on the house. Anyway, so have a great rest of your Memorial Day. Give your cat a cuddle, and thank you guys for coming out, 300 plus people for Predator. Why don't, if everybody could please take your garbage with you, that would be super appreciated. And then Todd can be in the lobby and we have some copies of the book as well. If you want to talk to Todd, do that there. And thank you guys for coming.